Hey, everyone. It's our final results live. Really, the last couple days, I was gonna go live on Father's Day and everything. I ended up having that one read, and I had multiple reads, and YouTube was not having it. It just wasn't having it. And then today and yesterday, it is so ungodly humid on my porch. Ungodly humid. Like, I've been out here 5 minutes and I am so shiny. So shiny. It's so rough. So anyway, we're gonna push through it, the humidity. Hey Kristen, for the candles results, which I'm super excited about. And then I'm going to talk a little bit about the premiere setup for Friday. I'm going to do my best to record during the night while it's a little cooler out here and load the videos on a schedule so you guys can actually see them premiere and stuff. Obviously, it won't be a live. Those I'm going to save as many of those for moon events and stuff like that as possible. Wheel of Fortune spins might be recorded. So, just keep it in mind. I also wanted to ask everybody, because I really do want to get back into the algorithm. I do not want to submit to the fact that I'm out of it forever and can't get back in there. So not the live chat, but in the comment sections, if you guys, like, when you drop your likes and stuff, can just like put a little heart, like your favorite color heart, in the comments, just to keep the comments like active so that YouTube can, say, hey, people are interacting with the video. Like, you know what I mean? Help your sister out. Help your sister out. I know Kristen does all the time, but it would be nice if everybody kind of like helped get me back in there. So I look forward to seeing all your little different color hearts. Now with the candles, Lorraine, I'm going to start with you because your candle is literally the easiest one. It's the easiest candle. There is no banding on your candle whatsoever. The big thing with your candle is the bottom, right? We have all of this excess wax that built up just around the edge on the bottom. And I know, because you and I have talked, the one thing that you're having the hardest time letting go of, right? Not fear of karmic restrictions, not wishing there was more to life, and bringing in the freedom of authentic creation and gratitude for the present. Like, those you've got down. What you're having the hardest time with is discouragement over creating new and excitement over new possibilities, which means there's a lot of fear there, right? There's a lot of fear there over taking control of your ability to create and choose what is in your highest good in your life and getting excited about it. The fact that you have that power, right? You have the power to choose what it is that you want, and everybody else can figure it out. You know what I mean? So that is going to be the biggest thing for you. And there is, I know it's impossible to see on the camera, but I need you to know it's there. There is a white halo around the top of your candle. It means you've got angels protecting you, sweetheart. Like, your angels are with you. Please do not feel like you cannot create and that you are making mistakes in your choosing, what it is that you want to be excited about, new possibilities, things like that. It's really important to trust yourself and the way you are intuitively guided for your highest good. And taking those leaps of faith just one step at a time. Like, you don't have to take a million steps at once. Sometimes today it's just a phone call or a text message, or, getting rid of some old stuff and maybe going through some other things, like things that are important, just little steps every day, but knowing that you are ultimately choosing in a specific direction called your happiness, that you can be excited about life. So Elisa, me and you, we said it, right? We said it. We're in the same boat. We've got lots of bands. We've got lots of bands. Okay. some areas are worse than others. And sometimes the bands are there, but they don't go through certain words. Like you have two bands and they go right in between and right underneath frustration with spirit. So it doesn't quite block it, but it's around it. Those same bands do start to tip just barely into the words right here. The band is like right here, but it stops right above the word best and doesn't continue. So like there's bands, but we really kind of have to get into it. So the things that I think are most important for you, especially because you ended up having like a bunch of different like like the different things that we dress the candle with, like you've got a bunch that just accumulated right here over the right time. And it may or may not be seeds, to be honest. It might be chamomile. But it does look like, it looks like seeds, right? And it's almost as if, you know, the right time for beautiful things. Sometimes the right time for beautiful things just requires you to plant a seed. Just requires you to plant the seed, whether the seed is in your own mind or your own heart, to allow it to grow in due course when the time is right, right? The seed doesn't grow overnight, but it is the right time to plant it. When we look into the different bands, I feel like acceptance over what is known to be best for you. I think you're aware of it. And I think that you know you need to get out of your own way in that regard, because the bands are present, but they're not truly interfering. Like, you know that you don't want to be frustrated with life and experience and all those things. And so it really is just, you know, reiterating it a couple more times to yourself. You do know what is best for you, right? Acceptance over what is best for you, and not feeling guilt over being happy, because we do have a clear band going through the word guilt, and we have clear bands going through happy, right? You have this guilt over being happy, but you have no problem with the idea of being happy as fuck. There's no bands interfering with that. Like, you want to be happy as fuck. You really do. You have no problem with the idea of being happy, but it's the guilt, right? It's the guilt that being happy brings in. And that's what we need to work on. The last two, those ones we've got some real blocks on there. And letting go of self-judgment and self-depreciation is probably the biggest deal, especially the self-depreciation. There is more block on that word, right? Residual wax has more on that word than it does self-judgment. It's all encompassed in it. But you depreciate your value for whatever reason. You don't think you're as valuable as other people, or whoever you may or may not compare yourself to, or where you're at in your life. You know, like maybe you devalue yourself because you're not some 18-year-old thing, you know, like walking around getting all kinds of attention from everybody. You know, like it could be a bunch of different things, but you're depreciating yourself. Whether it's the way you look, or it's your age, or your intelligence, or your education, or how much money you make, like whatever it is, devaluing yourself because you're not like others. You're more valuable because you are the only one like you. It's not a matter of how you can be better than or more like other people, so much as it's how you can just thrive in being the best you, and there's only one. You know, there is no one else like you. You know, there's a bunch of young 18-year-old things running around, you know, doing what they do in life and getting all kinds of shit that, you know, they're a dime a dozen. But you're very authentic, you know, and you've got to trust that the beauty of you is rare, and that makes it even more valuable to the right eye, right? Like a jeweler can see a million different stones, but you know, it's those rare stones that are just so extremely valuable. And as soon as he sees it, you know, like, holy, you know, like I came across this, like of all the things that I see, like this is what crossed my desk today. It would be like someone coming in to appraise a garnet to see if it's a spindle or a garnet and realizing it's a red diamond. Like, what? Like a spindle or a garment might cost a couple $100 or a couple $1,000, but a red diamond? I don't know if I literally, and I'm thinking of it because of the reels that have been coming up. I love Dreamer Apothecary, and so of course crystals are just kind of always in my feed, whether it's in shorts or whatever. I'm always getting stuff for crystals, and that's what happened. A guy went to an appraiser thinking he had a garnet or a spindle and wanted to see which one it was. He had picked it up at some sale, you know, some jewelry auction or whatever. And he bought it as a garnet, but he wanted to make sure that that's really what it was before he resold it. The jeweler ends up testing it. He's like, this is not a garnet. Like, this is a red diamond. He goes, did you know you had a red diamond? And the guy's like, no. You know, like, what does that even mean? He goes, this is not a $5,000 stone. This is like a $5-6 million stone. And the guy was like, holy shit. And he was just like wearing it. He's like, this has to go. Like, this has to go in a bank box. Like, holy shit. It's a $5-6 million red diamond, you know, like the right eye is going to see your value. It's going to see it and let you know exactly what you're worth. And they're like, oh my God, I gotta treat you better. I gotta treat you like you're the most precious thing ever. You know, you're like life insurance for like generations. You know, metaphorically or spiritually speaking, that's kind of brilliant, right? So you've got to see your true value. That's where the other bit of the residual is at the bottom, you know, and we tend to get that a lot with the candles, not all the time, but a lot, where it's the last piece that spirit gives me, you know, as far as like channeling what needs to come in and what needs to go, that we have the hardest time with. And I think that's a big one. Like, you deserve to be happy. You don't need to feel guilty about that. Right. And you do need to be able to see your true value and not depreciate yourself just because you're not like everybody else. That might make you more valuable than everybody else, not less. Just because you're not like everybody else doesn't mean you're less valuable. It might make you more valuable. Okay. And then for your girls' candle, I have some banding myself, none of which gets me for acceptance over what is best for me. That's where me and Elise were in the same boat. We both kind of knocked on that one. But it's this little frustration with spirit that I got because I have timing. I get impatient. I'm such a fucking Sag. Patience is my virtue, but it's also my curse. When I lose patience, it's never coming back. So I have to work on control over the timing. And thinking that I'm alone. That was the big one. I don't really have any banding that's actually interfering with the words on this side right here. They all get close to it, but they stop. So, you know, acceptance and gratitude for divine timing. I do have a lot of gratitude for divine timing. I do see its value. I just don't like it. I just don't like it. And then remembering I'm not alone, you know, which the big bars is through alone, you know. It's been a big thing. And to be honest, like I don't know if Kristen really realizes just how big of a support she's been to me. Like, a lot of people feel like they can't reach out to me all the time, that I'm busy, or, you know, that I'm not interested in talking to them about what's going on in their life. But I appreciate it so much. Like, I might not always be able to respond right away, but I love having ongoing conversations. Like, the people are thinking of me and, you know, letting me know what's going on, because they feel that connection and it's important to them. Like, I appreciate it greatly, especially because, you know, me doing what I do for a living, and a lot of my soul fam, you know, being clients before they became soul fam, you know, I don't ever want them to feel like, you know, I'm reaching out to them or trying to, you know, get an idea of what's going on and say, oh, well, you should get a reading with me type shit. Like, I'd rather just be reached out to and let divine timing handle the rest. And so, you know, she kind of saved me the other day, you know, and I didn't even realize that I needed the savings at the time. You know, I was just feeling a lot of the heavy energy and just, you know, being mean, trying to be strong and bowling through it, you know, just doing it the best I can by myself. And she showed up in my messages, and I was just like, it had me in tears. Like, I was so damn grateful that she actually just sat there and reached out to me to consider me. Like, she literally was like, wow, that's got to be hard to do what you did. Like, and I was just, you know what I mean? Like, taken aback, like, thank you. Thank you for that, you know, because it helps with this, like, where this is, the big block dips right around partnerships. Like, it's not stability and being successful so much as it's the partnerships that get nurtured in between. And I'm going to be working on that, you know, between now and the next moon, which we have coming up on the 25th, right? We have the new moon in Cancer, and it's going to be a big one. It's going to be a big one. I don't know if you guys realize, like, just what kind of huge windows are going on right now. You know, between everything that was released with this full moon in Sag and everything coming in between now and then, like, even with all the squares popping off on the 15th and the 16th, like, all the wild squares, all the wild energy that the moon brought in yesterday, you know, these huge squares and all the different challenges that we're being asked to rise to in lieu of this new moon coming, right? Where we have this clean slate. And this message comes through from the Twin Flame Collective, you know, like, I have not given a Twin Flame reading in the longest time. Like, there was a point where I was doing regular, like, counterpart reads all the time. And then I just got very much into, like, the weekly duality report, where it was more about the duality within the self and not about, you know, what's going on with the twin flames. It was more about what is going on with yourself, like, focusing inward. And I still very much view it that way, but the message came out real specific when I recorded it last night. And I did a lot of editing up like 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. I only got like a half an hour of sleep last night. And I slept today. I slept half the day, but I was up all night doing this reading and the editing for it. And it's such a powerful reassurance from spirit for divine feminines. Like, it really is. And I cannot wait for it to air. I cannot wait for it to air. I've already watched it back on my phone like 5 times because there's so many little Easter eggs in there. And I did want to read, because in reviewing it, I had noticed, because it was not a part of the reading itself, the bottom of the deck that I used for guidance caught my eye while I was watching the replay of the final edit. I caught it on the bottom. This is the Journey of Love deck. by Alana Fairchild. And it was so fitting. And I was like, there's a reason why this card is going to come out before the actual reading itself. It's the Christ flame. Card number 31 was the underlying guidance on the bottom of the deck. And so I want to read it. I want to read it for you guys. Because whatever you're dealing with or whatever you're going through or whatever blocks you're moving through to empower yourself in this life, like there's obviously a message that just didn't want to wait. So the Christ flame, it says, within you burns the flame of the Christ. Beyond religion, this flame belongs to all hearts willing to receive the divine. Through the awakening of the Christ within brings greater closeness to the divine and therefore greater love and depth of compassion. It too can bring sadness, righteous anger, and a passionate need to contribute positive healing action and change in the world. You may be an introspective soul who does this through mastering your inner world, raising your own vibration with absolute intent, that is, bring healing to the world around you. You may be an extroverted soul that thrives in sharing messages and living a life of dynamic action in support of the cause that are worthy and moving of your brave heart, capable of feeling divine outrage and responding with inspired action. You may be a combination of these souls and choosing wisely what you consume, which companies you support, what television you do or do not watch, and what you read, voting for the life you want to have around you in the world through your actions, internal and external. This is the Christ flame igniting within you, setting the world aflame with the fire of divine love. This oracle brings guidance that you are connected with the universal Christ consciousness, and your heart is meant to awaken as a sacred heart, bearing the Christ flame of divine love this lifetime. You are part of the wave of awakening happening on earth now. You are exactly where you are meant to be and doing exactly what you are meant to be doing. Keep going. Keep going. Really, the card under that is devotion to the small. Sometimes all we have is our little piece, our own little seed of light that we get to nurture throughout this lifetime that grows into something beautiful for the generations after us to enjoy. You know, this energy about healing, which is what it's all about, you know, it's about being that person that goes within and wants to ripple healing. You know, which is what I really did when we were doing the first day, right? The updates with all the candles. I was going over that, you know, like that's the reason why we do it. That's the reason why it's public, to let people see that there are people out there like actively working on their healing and wanting to see that progress in real time, you know, what it looks like doing candle reads. I hope y'all learn a thing or two over the course of time as we continue to do the intention candles here on the channel, you know, and learning how to read candles and read energy that you guys are inspired to create your own. You know, always practice safe burning practices, right? Burn your candle safely. But it's like knowing that there are these tools out there that can help you in your intention to heal, because you don't want to bleed on the people that didn't cut you. You know, you don't want to be the person in your family line that 6 generations from now, that karmic wound is still healing because you had the opportunity to heal it this life and chose not to. Like, that is the kind of responsibility that myself and my followers and supporters, like, that's what they think about. They think about, how do I heal myself? I don't ever want to hurt a single person that I love, whether I know them now or not. Whether I'll ever meet them or not. Like, I love everyone. I don't want my wounds to bleed on anyone. Like, that's why we do this stuff. That's why I think this card was so important. to remind you, you know, that you are in the right energy space. You're on the right track at the very least. You are on the right track, exactly where you are, doing exactly what you're meant to be doing at this divine time. What you're choosing about and thinking about and feeling about and aligning with, like, we are accepting that we are getting pulled in a certain direction, and we can't let the lower vibratory feelings hold us back, because that's what ripples the pain to the people we don't want to bleed on. That's what ripples the pain. When we don't heal it and choose from a place of fear, or choose from a place of guilt, or choose from a place of not trusting the self, or choose from a place of depreciation, right? Choosing from a place of thinking that we are by ourselves. And we've got a whole fucking angel squad up there. We've got a whole squad of angels, guides, guardians, passed away loved ones, like Source Creator itself. We've got a fucking team. We've got a team. And even in those moments where we really have a hard time connecting with our own team, we have earth angels that come through. You know? Hey, Lala. We have a team of earth angels that come through. Like, I was having a really hard time, and Spirit was like, it's okay. I know you're not really hearing me right now. I'm going to ping Kristen a message show. You know, and Kristen did. She messaged me, and I was like, thank you. Thank you, Earth Angel, you. Thank you. Thank you, you know, like, for thinking of me and being a voice when I couldn't tune into my own shit because I was in the thick of feeling what I was feeling. You know, I was in the thick of feeling what I was feeling, and she pulled me right out of it. Pulled me right out of it. And then Spirit sent me on a tear. Spirit sent me on a tear. You know, and that's why we're here. Like, I'm not here sitting here because I'm better off than anybody else. I'm on the journey just the same as y'all. You know, y'all might be more introverted, right, in your expression of it. I might be a little more extroverted in my expression of it, but we're all here doing the same shit, you know, like, on a real note. Yeah. And I try and do the same thing, you know. I try and do the same thing for people, and I forget that I need it sometimes myself. I've always been the person to, you know, take on so much weight, to carry it so much, you know, like, I've been that way my whole life, and I've been convincing myself that I'm strong and I don't need anybody else, you know, because I've had to be on my own the whole time. Now I've gotten to this place where Spirit's reminding me, like, hey, Grace, like, being alone and carrying it all by yourself might have served you for a time, but it's not all there is. You know, it's not all there is. You don't have to continue that way forever just because you know that you have and can, you know. Really, the humidity out here. Y'all see me shining like a diamond? Shine bright like a diamond. It's impossible not to with this fucking humidity. It is unreal. Unreal, to the point that I even contemplated, like, bringing my tarot cards back in because the humidity is so bad. I was afraid it was going to warp my cards, but it's clearing up, and I do have my dehumidifier out here, so we'll see how that goes. I plugged that in today. It's just so fucking rough. Yeah, I'm glad, you know, but that I'm glad it helps. I'm glad that, you know, we are truly a family here. And I think that's maybe what's lacking on, you know, a lot of different, you know, not just, you know, channels on YouTube, but like different platforms in general, where there's such a disconnect. Even though, like, we relate to people that we watch, or we relate to people that we follow, it's almost like the personal interaction is a little bit lack, though. You know, like, especially with bigger channels, it's hard for them to respond to everybody. Like, it's hard to create that deep personal connection with people. And it's like, the bigger you get, the more, or rather the less you respond, because it's just too much. Like, and I think as much as I would like to create a build on the channel, I don't think I'd want to have 10,000 new people out of nowhere. You know, I just kind of want to continue to build over time so that I can create those personal relationships with y'all as we go. Like, I want y'all to feel the very human aspect of me going through this process with you guys. You know, I don't ever want you guys to feel like I'm somewhere so far away that you can't feel like you can connect to me. I always want to maintain that very human element because, like I said, y'all are the ones that breathe life into me. You make everything worth it. My soul fam mean everything. More to me than anything else. More to me than anything else. I mean, think about it. I was with my quote unquote twin flame and refused to let him get in between me and my soul fam. Refused. Ended up at my corporate job. And after 3 months, I was like, this is fucking insane. Like, I could tolerate maybe being off grid, you know, or off radar for a month. But 3.5 months going on 4 months, like, I was literally screaming at my HR, crying in the phone. I miss my soul fam. I miss my soul fam. Like, this is not what I signed up for. Like, nothing is going to ever, truly ever come between me and my journey, my path, my family, people I'm supposed to connect with. That's why I'm here. You know, that's why I'm here, to build these connections and help and aid in the healing process, you know, to help facilitate that. And I feel wildly incomplete without it. Wildly incomplete without it. It's a part of who I am, you know. So I hope you guys enjoyed the candle results. I hope you guys enjoyed the little card. I thought that was really cool that Spirit had that pop out for me. And I am at some point in the middle of the night, right when it's cooler outside, do a check-in. I want to do an all signs check-in. So you guys can look forward to seeing that pop up on the channel. Yeah, the card was awesome. Spirit's so awesome. Spirit's so awesome. Spirit also guided me to start writing. So you guys might not see me quite as like daily. There will be at least something often. And especially if I'm recording at night, like, you guys will see the premieres. You can click the like and get notified, you know, for when it's premiering, and things like that. You know, like I said, you put little comments, little hearts there, let me know that, you know, you're waiting on it or can't wait to see it or just watched it or whatever, you know. And yeah, I'm gonna be writing. I even channeled Archangel Michael through my Archangel Michael pendulum and was having a conversation with him. And you know, I had different questions about, you know, because I had certain things that I was being guided to, confirmed the guidance and asked different questions surrounding it. Like, should I take it in this direction? Should I not, you know, take it in this direction or whatever? And I got some really clear answers that sit right with my soul. And I'm like, all right, bad. So I'm going to start writing, and I am still diligently working on my tarot deck. Y'all know I've been working on it since 2022. It's like, it's a really fucking extensive deck, but I can't wait to use it myself sometimes. Like, even in my own head, I get flashes of different cards I made when I do readings. Like, I can't wait to get that deck done. So Spirit's going to have me doing a bunch of different stuff. I'm going to be writing, I'm going to be designing, and I'm still going to be reading and doing editing in between. You guys might not see me quite as often, but my energy is with you all the same. God knows there is always the playlist here on the channel. I've got all of the different zodiacs and playlists now that weren't previously there. I've got a whole playlist of timeless messages where it was just like random collective messages that I've done over the years. I'm sure you can find stuff in there. And then the pick a card playlist is all like different secret code names or literal pick a card reads that I've done over the years. And if you're guided to one of the secret code names or guided to a certain reading, like, chances are the message you need is in there for you, you know. And I will be here in divine time doing what I do and posting different things. And I'm on TikTok now. So if you haven't followed me over on TikTok, I need at least 50 followers to go live on TikTok. So if you haven't followed me over there, make sure you do. And yeah, I'm going to get the fuck out of this humidity and go back into my AC. I'm going to go back into my AC. I'm melting. I'm literally fucking melting. I love you guys. And I'll see you next time. Bye, everyone. And Kristen, I love you.